Welcome, everyone, to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm. From Oakland, California, Oracle Arena, 107 consecutive sellouts in front of this raucous and boisterous crowd. And tonight we get a look at the top two scoring teams in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors, #1 in scoring. They have the NBA's best record, 3 games up on Memphis in the Western Conference. Dallas in the 6th hole, 7 games back, trying to chase down the Clippers. And a few moments ago, the two All-Stars, the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, receiving their official NBA Western Conference All-Star jerseys from Jerry West. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, courtside, along with John Barry. Thanks for coming aboard. Heather Cox joins us in just a few. JB, Golden State's off to the franchise best start ever in 69 years in the history of this franchise. Trying to get back to the finals for the first time in 39 years. This list of superlatives continues to grow for the Warriors.
Well, stop the presses. They lost twice last week. It's a rarity with only 8 losses. But the numbers that they put up this year, you just quite frankly don't ever see it in the NBA to be this efficient on the offensive end, lead the league in scoring, and then defensively lead the league in opponents' field goal percentage. You just don't see it. This team's doing it. They've got a couple All-Stars, but they've got a full team, and they do it the right way.
They've won 4 consecutive games against the Mavericks coming into this one tonight. And speaking of Dallas, they're going to be without Rajon Rondo because of an injury. Heather has more on that in just a bit. But a win tonight against Golden State really does a lot for their psyche, right?
Well, I think it's time for this team to step up. I think a lot of people like this team, but they're not quite sure. They've struggled against the quality teams in the Western Conference. Just 2-10 against Western Conference playoff teams. No better way to fix that than win here at the NBA's best home of Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State is 22-2 here at Oracle Arena. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Honda. Monte Ellis making a homecoming of sorts. He spent his first 7 years of his career here at Golden State. J.J. Barea getting his 2nd consecutive start. Parsons, Nowitzki, and Tyson Chandler up front for the Dallas Mavericks. Meanwhile, for Golden State in the backcourt, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Up front, it's Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, and Andrew Bogut, the shot blocker in the middle for the Warriors. Let's check in courtside with Heather Cox.
Well, Mark, the big news in Dallas, of course, the trade bringing Rajon Rondo from the Celtics to the Mavericks. Many thinking he could be the missing piece of the puzzle. But just 21 games into his career with Dallas, on January 31st, he collided with a teammate, suffered a nasal fracture and left orbital fracture, expected to miss anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Now, the reason they can't pinpoint a more specific return, there is so much swelling, his eye is still literally swollen shut. Doctors can't decide yet if surgery is necessary. So, guys, head athletic trainer Casey Smith stayed back in Dallas to help treat him. He will see a specialist tomorrow, at which point they'll know a lot more.
Yeah, Heather, Mark Cuban, the owner for the Mavericks, telling me prior to the game that tells you something about the competitive nature of Rondo. He actually wanted to try and suit up and play, even though his face was so swollen.
Well, you know, the jury's still out on whether that trade is going to be the right move for this team. 13-8 since Rondo's come over, scoring down 7 points a game for the Dallas Mavericks. They are improved defensively, but we'll see. 20 games, not enough time to tell.
DIRK missing the mid-range jump shot. Both teams unable to score on their first offensive possessions. There's Draymond Green. Back out to Bogut. Bogut, a bigger part of the offense for the Warriors this year. Here's Green from outside. Misfiring. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. Green shoots right around 34%.
This lineup here that we're seeing tonight, 30th start of the year, 27-2. This Warrior lineup on the season.
Chandler Parsons knocks down the jump shot over Curry. Parsons back for the 2nd consecutive game after missing 2 with the flu.
The Dallas team that dropped 4 games in a row about 10 days ago and has bounced back to win their last 3.
The Mavericks coming off a 100-94 win against the Minnesota Timberwolves at home a couple of nights ago. Here's Thompson working against Monte Ellis. Good defense by Monte Ellis.
In the last meeting between these two teams, 29 for Steph Curry, 25 for Klay Thompson. A tough matchup. Klay Thompson being a bigger guard for Monte Ellis to handle on the offensive end.
There's DIRK with 7 on the shot clock, double teamed. They take it out of his hands. Barea on the drive, tough shot, and boy, Tyson Chandler underneath with a nice tip in. Maybe why part of the reason he's second in the league in field goal percentage, and he grabs the defensive rebound.
A great acquisition to get him back. I think Mark Cuban admittedly said, I should never have let him go after they won that championship back in 2011.
DIRK with that patented one-legged step-back jump shot. Knocks it down. Dirk Nowitzki for the first time in decades, literally not going to the All-Star game this year. Gets it back out. Good ball movement by the Warriors. Thompson drives by Ellis. Bogut couldn't get the lob. Out of bounds turnover. It'll be Dallas basketball.
A lot of sorts right now. Spacing not quite that good right there. That time Green and Thompson too close together on the kick out from Bogut. And I'm going to have to say that they probably haven't gone this long without scoring to start a game all year long. They've just been so good on the offensive end.
Golden State 0 for 4 from the field to start this game. Of course, this is the second game, JB, of a back-to-back. Last night they played a road game up the highway in Sacramento. A short bus ride of about 2 hours, but still, you know, a back-to-back nonetheless. You're shaking your head.
Not a hard one. Not a hard one. And they swept Sacramento Kings 4-0. Already played them 4 times this year.
Well, the good news for the Kings is that Klay Thompson didn't go off for 37 points in the third quarter.
Wow, that's something.
There's Barea on the drive. The floater draws the foul. And J.J. Barea will go to the free throw line for the Mavericks. Speaking about that amazing, historic 37-point third quarter, look at the shot chart. I mean, 9 for 9 from downtown. And when he got bored, JB, he drove it into the paint for 4 buckets.
I talked to Clay before the game, and I was here in 1987. Sleepy Floyd, a member of the Warriors, went for 29 in the quarter against the L.A. Lakers. I thought I'd never seen anything like that. 37 points. I believe that night, 2 other teams in the NBA scored 37 in the quarter. 2 other teams. There were about 10 games going that night. Just an incredible performance. And this place was going nuts. 6 minutes ago, they didn't sit down.
I might have sealed the deal in him being named to the All-Star team by the coaches vote. Thompson on the drive, missing with the left, and Bogut there to clean it up.
And Thompson felt like he got shoved by Monte on that take, but nonetheless, Bogut right there to clean it up.
Well, the Dallas Mavericks off to a much better start than they were in the first meeting between these two teams. And Dallas fell down by about 20 points. Parsons, nice give and go with Nowitzki for the bucket.
39-18 was the first quarter score in Dallas. Golden State just jumped all over him. And Steve Kerr not real happy with the early start here. Early timeout.
Going to call a timeout. Dallas with nice energy here to start this game, and good give and go here as Parsons cashes in with his second bucket of the game. Back right after this. Warriors, team with the best record in the NBA, facing a 17-point deficit halfway into the first quarter here in Oracle Arena. Mark Jones courtside along with John Barry and Heather Cox as well. A couple of subs during that last timeout as David Lee and Andre Iguodala checked into the ball game. A couple of former All-Stars.
It's kind of nice when you can reach down the bench and grab a couple All-Stars.
Curry blocked by Al-Farouq Aminu, who's also checked in. Parsons on the drive, draws the foul, and we'll get a pair at the line.
Well, Dallas just at another speed right now. They're getting it done on the defensive end. That's the question mark about this team. Can they be consistently good enough defensively? Good block there by Aminu. No foul there by Chandler. And then off to the races they go. Parsons all the way and gets himself to the free throw line.
Parsons a 73% free throw shooter. Folks, let's take a look at the upcoming NBA national TV schedule. TNT tomorrow as the Clippers at Cleveland and Phoenix and Portland. ESPN Friday with the Clippers in Toronto. Then it's the Heat against the Spurs in a finals rematch. Then NBA TV Saturday has the Bulls and the Pelicans. ABC doubleheader on Sunday. Clippers, OKC, Lakers against the Cavs. 22-4, and Parsons with an education in anticipation and the flush. Warriors fans saying, somebody wake me up from this nightmare.
Tell me who this team is here is what they're saying. 4 points in over 6 minutes.
That one halfway down and out, a 14-0 run for the Mavericks here in the first quarter.
A lot of turnovers here early for the Warriors. That was their biggest problem early in the season as Barea can't get that to go. They've been much, much better at taking care of the ball of late.
But with their shooting, they can always get back into a game in a hurry. Klay Thompson shooting 45% from downtown this year.
Absolutely. There's no concern right here. Just get it back on the defensive end, get some stops, take some of the quality looks, and this Warrior team will have to find themselves right back in the ball game.
Ellis with the pull-up foul line jumper. Rattles home with the soft touch.
Not getting it done defensively. And that time it was screen and roll.
Curry with the quick back at you. Knocks down his first three.
I guess they could trade 3 for 2. They have enough time to do that. But I'm sure Coach Steve Kerr would not appreciate that. They got to get it done here on the defensive end. 26 points with 4.5 plus to go. Not typical Warrior basketball, but Steph Curry and Klay, the Splash Brothers, coming alive.
Moderate to severe.
And the story for Dallas, number 2 in scoring, doing it with defense.
Well, I mentioned early in the season a problem for the Warriors turning the basketball over. They've been much better, but credit Dallas for making them pay. 5 turnovers have resulted in 11 Maverick points. Taking advantage, they're number 1 in the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks. Points off turnovers. They get 20 a game, points off turnovers, and that's how they've been so successful.
Ellis, nice feed inside. And now Farouk Aminu with the bucket underneath. A good look by Monte Ellis, who, if you listen to his teammates, will tell you very quickly that he is a very underrated passer. Steph Curry with the mid-range jump shot.
Offensively, you know the Warriors are going to get it going. It's got to happen here on this end. And credit Dallas. They are moving the basketball. With Rondo here, he's a guy that likes to have the basketball in his hands. A little different attack here for the Mavs as Ellis gets the tough one to go.
You know, Mark Cuban has said that Monte Ellis needs to be a little bit more vocal, perhaps get a few more calls from the officials if he is, but doesn't seem to be in his makeup.
So what about him being an all-star? I didn't hear a whole lot of people talk about him. I thought he was deserving. He's on a team that's, what, 16 games over 500, and he's averaging 20 a game. And he's a guy, go-to guy at the end of ball games. It's not always Dirk. It could be Ellis, too. Great job by Curry just to get that ball at the rim.
Iguodala with the rebound. Curry left wide open from downtown, and that's lethal.
Offensive boards lead to open threes. Time and time again. And a great look there by Iguodala. But again, Curry to get that ball up onto the rim before the shot clock. Smart play.
Now they need some stops. Here's Dirk, double teamed on the baseline, knocked out of bounds off of Iguodala.
Here's the offensive board from Iguodala, who finds his shooter. And you could put that one in the books, standing wide open. Steph Curry.
JB, it sounds strange to say that Curry is shooting a quote-unquote career low 39.6% from downtown. Something doesn't sound right about that.
I'm sure he's not happy about
pretty
that.
Good.
39.6 and 40 is a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be. No, I mean, I think 40 is the benchmark for being an above-average three-point shooter. So 39.6, I'm sure he's upset. Another uncontested dunk at the rim or look at the rim for Dallas.
Chandler Parsons with another sweet dime. 32-15. The Mavericks with the lead here in the first quarter. Curry to Lee. Back to Curry. Quick release for three.
No.
That's
really?
his third three of the quarter. Starting to heat up. He scored their last 11 points.
And he wasn't even set.
Ellis gets it back at the other end.
Well, here's possibly an issue for this Warrior team. You take Bogut out of the ball game, really no rim protection. That's not what David Lee does.
Lee missing the jump shot. Parsons with a rebound.
They're now getting exploited at the rim, or the Warriors.
This Golden State team leads the NBA in field goal percentage defense. You never know it by what's happening right now. Harris with the three-point shot. Parsons with the rebound. 5 on the shot clock. Dirk. And another possession for the Mavs. Great hustle by Harris. Nice extra pass. Aminu from the short corner. And Farouk Aminu, not known as a three-point shooter, knocks one down.
See how that basketball is moving from side to side? You cannot stay on one side of the floor. There's a good strip there by Dirk. And it will stay with the Warriors. But that ball moving side to side for Dallas, moving that defense, and they are creating any shot they want. Not very often you see Aminu taking the three-point shot, but the corner three, if he's going to take one, That's the one you can live with.
An offensive blitz to begin this game by the Dallas Mavericks as J.J. Barea checks back into the ball game. He's coming in for Monte Ellis. Charlie Villanueva also checking into the ball game for Rick Carlisle. Charlie V had a nice breakout game in breaking their losing streak, their 4-game losing streak recently down in Miami. Charlie V had a 20-point performance and really ignited that comeback win.
Well, Charlie hadn't really played for a couple years. Sat on the bench in Detroit, just wasn't really part of their rebuilding process. And he's been inserted here into the lineup and had some nice moments, as you said, as another missed opportunity for Golden State.
Dallas, meanwhile, JB has made 14 of their last 18 shots.
Jeez.
1.5 to go here in the first quarter. Charlie V for 3 on cue. Got it.
What?
Charlie Villanueva averaging just 5 points per game coming into this one tonight. A 40-point first quarter for the Mavericks. The meter still running. Lee had it knocked out of bounds by DIRK.
That's the second time in a row for DIRK. As you see, look at this play. You see, meaning he goes down the middle. Barnes has to step in there to try to stop that. And you put Villanueva, a guy that's capable of making that 3. You put him in a quandary. He's not able to get out there. Nice set play there by the Mavs.
Well, no Rondo tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. If you're just joining us, he's going to miss at least the next couple of games, and who knows how much longer, as he's still being evaluated, as reported by our Heather Cox a little bit earlier. Iguodala off the inbound play. Barnes runs down the loose ball. Here's Lee. Barbosa for 3. Got it.
And another guy unlikely to knock down a 3. Just around 30% for Barbosa from behind the arc. So much needed there for the Warriors.
Here's Charlie Villanueva on the drive and feed. Now Farouk Aminu missing inside. And Curry in a rush. Ran into his own man, David Lee. Curry fighting for the loose ball. Here's Lee. Barnes inside.
Well, maybe that'll get him going, because that had no business ending up in Harrison Barnes for a uncontested dunk. Great hustle by Curry, didn't give up on the play, and a good drop off by Lee.
Down by 17. Correa off the Aminu screen. Nice time. Boy, they are getting easy shots at the basket, John.
Some big-time confusion here from the Warriors defensively. Not communicating. 2 guys are going with the basketball, leaving uncontested players, and so many opportunities at the rim for the Mavs in this first quarter.
Yeah, this is already the most points that the Warriors have given up in the first quarter all year. Lee inside draws the foul and will go to the line in a very frustrating first quarter for the team with the best record in the NBA.
Absolutely. A few turnovers have ignited the Mavs early on. And then the half-court offense. Steve Kerr bewildered here with Coach Ron Adams, the defensive coach. As you said, most points allowed in the first quarter for the Warriors here tonight.
Folks, the NBA celebrates Black History Month and honors those who have dared to dream. Follow the breakthroughs at NBA.com and join the conversation using hashtag NBABHM. A forlorn look across the faces of some of the Warrior players on the bench. 3 seconds to go. Correa to Villanueva. It'll count. And the first quarter ends 42-25. It was all Dallas as Chandler Parsons got them off to a great start, as did Monte Ellis, making a homecoming to Golden State.
Got to do a better job of finding those guys.
Coach, thank you. Mark?
Well, Heather, Dallas on a 24-4 run to get the lead, and Charlie Villanueva knocks down another 3-ball for the Mavericks.
Villanueva 0 for 6 from behind the arc in their last game against Minnesota. Has knocked down a couple here already, but the number's staggering. I mean, we just haven't seen as Barbosa gets one to go. Number 1 field goal percentage defense. The Golden State Warriors give up 65%, 42 points. No turnovers for the Dallas Mavericks in the whole quarter. That means Golden State not playing much defense.
Those 42 points were the most the Mavs have scored in the first quarter this year. DIRK with the fadeaway, got it.
Draymond Green, an excellent defender, can guard 1 through 4, but Dirk Nowitzki, nothing he can do with that fadeaway jumper.
Spates on the drive. Barbosa, three-pointer off the mark, rebound underneath, and that's going to be a foul against Dallas.
I think they got Dirk. Now here's Dirk. You see, great position there by Green. Don't let him into the lane. Make him step back, and you can play as good a defense as you want. If Dirk's making that shot, which he normally does for the last 73 years, there's nothing you can do.
Well, interestingly, for the first time in about a decade, Dirk won't be in the All-Star game. He's going to get a little breather and get a chance to rest. He's looking forward to it. Here's Barbosa. He's trying to keep the heat on the Mavericks as they pull to within 17.
A couple big threes by Barbosa, the 33%er. They got to get done here, Mark.
Yeah, last night it was the Golden State bench a whistle and a foul underneath against the Warriors. Last night, John, it was the Golden State bench that did a lot of the heavy lifting offensively as they got 17 points out of Iguodala and 17 out of Mo Spates, both in the ball game right now.
They have 5 or 6 guys very capable of putting up anywhere from 15 to 25 points when you go to this bench. What a luxury it is to have. But tonight, they need to find somebody to make some defensive stops because Dallas getting anything they want on the offensive end.
Ray Felton off the screen, lost control, gets it back to Aminu with 1 second on the clock, had to jack one. And here comes Draymond Green. John Livingston in the game. Livingston has the switch now on Dirk. Green kicks it back to Iguodala. 5 on the shot clock for Barbosa on the drive. Threw it up wildly, and Dirk clears for the Mavericks. Back comes Devin Harris. The lob, Aminu underneath. Couldn't finish it. Brought it down and got blocked out of bounds. And it's Warriors basketball.
Well, the Warriors very fortunate there. That pass just was not on the money from Devin Harris. Aminu wide open for an easy catch and dunk. The Warriors slow getting back. Step slow here this evening.
Barbosa on the move, lost the handle. And another Golden State turnover, their 6th of the game. Charlie Villanueva from downtown, no good. A little bit of a heat check for Charlie V. Here's Livingston. Drives by Felton, kicks it out. Spates underneath, gets it to fall.
Good ball movement there. Nice take by Barbosa. Goes baseline, the ball swings around. Green could have took the 3, but he found Spates on the interior for an easy one. And here comes the Oracle faithful.
107 consecutive sellouts here. Dirk with a fadeaway. And that's going to be a foul against Aminu.
Good box out there by Spates. A little life in the building. The best team in the league down 15. Can they get themselves back in?
Getaway. A bold choice to explore somewhere far from the regular.
Last Saturday night blew out the Spurs. And that was a tough loss for them up in Brooklyn.
Great pass to Thompson on a good cut. Spates with the feed. And the lead is down to 13 points now. Felton running the point for the Mavs. Underneath Felton. Blocked by Iguodala out of bounds. It'll stay Dallas basketball.
Well, we've seen a couple of those from Iguodala here since he came in the ball game. Their best perimeter defender, yes, Thompson's excellent, Draymond Green, but this guy here is the best. Does that look like all basketball?
Raymond Felton missed the first 31 games of the season with an ankle injury that he suffered in preseason. Still trying to find his rhythm. Ellis comes off the screen, almost banked it in. Villanueva couldn't find the handle, and here comes Green for the Warriors. Livingston drops a nice dime, and Spates draws the foul on Felton.
Well, there they go. Get out in transition. Now to get this crowd involved, but on the other end, it's the defense. Iguodala saving an easy opportunity from Felton, and they get out and run. Nice behind the back from Livingston. He and Spates really feed off one another. He knows where to find Spates. Spates primarily a pick and pop guy. He can shoot the basketball out to about 18, 20 feet. Does most of his work from there, but that time a good run out on the break.
We were talking about it prior to the game as Spates knocks down the first free throw. He's a 81% free throw shooter. The Splash Brothers, Thompson and Curry, get all the scoring hype, but Spates is actually the third highest scoring guy on this team, and he comes off the bench.
Yeah, I don't think many people would know that, but he has started some games when Bogut has missed, so he's played probably a few more minutes than most of the bench players, but he has been excellent for this ball club this season.
And now Golden State countering with a 9-0 run down by 11. Dallas has misfired on its last 6 shots. Parsons out to Ellis. Ellis had a very productive first quarter, and he turns it over here. Thompson for 3. Green with the rebound. This time Parsons runs Thompson off the 3-point line. Nobody picked up Iguodala, who couldn't cash in. Villanueva with the rebound to Felton.
The activity back down here on the defensive end, you can see it from the Warriors. A completely different group from the first couple minutes.
Felton, I think he wanted to lob that up for Tyson Chandler. He's saying it was tipped out of bounds, but it's Golden State basketball.
Well, that was not a very good long pass, if that's what he tried to do. I think he didn't care whether it just went off the glass or anything. He was trying to get it to the rim, just threw it a little bit too hard. He felt like he might have got hit on the arm, and that's why the ball went over the backboard.
Iguodala on the wing, guarded by Parsons. Bucket here, and they get it down to single digits for the first time in a long time. Livingston with the honors.
Terrific mid-range shooter. That time, good back screen. Chandler doesn't come out. And the Warriors employing their fans to get back in this thing, as they're doing. After being down 24-4, Livingston knocks one down, and it's under 10 here in Oakland.
Well, prior to the game tonight, Jerry West, the Hall of Famer, presenting Steph Curry and Klay Thompson with their all-star jerseys. That was General Manager Bob Myers to the right, giving Curry his jersey. Curry was the leading vote getter. Klay Thompson voted in by the coaches in the Western Conference. They're the first teammates from the Warriors to make the all-star team since Mully and Tim Hardaway as part of Run TMC, and going back to those two starters, Nate Thurmond and Rick Barry. Barry, part of that championship team that won the title 39 years ago.
I remember it well, Mark. I remember it well.
What do you remember about it?
Being carried off the floor by our trainer, Dick D'Oliva. I was 6 years old, and he saved my life from being stampeded.
Hey, that's a memory.
Yep.
Spades off the mark. Well, they're thinking about parades and good times here, and with good reason, with the NBA's best record.
Well, it's a deep team. 11 of their 13 points here in the quarter from the bench. You mentioned how good they were in Sacramento last night. That's a luxury. That's why this team is so good.
5 on the shot clock for Chandler. Parsons on the drive. Tried to manufacture a shot, and here comes Iguodala. Nice crossover. Slammed on the break. Spates had his back.
I think he took a tougher shot than he had to. Iguodala didn't realize how open he was. He could have just leaned in and probably finger rolled out. He went to the left-hand jump hook, but Spates, who's come up big here, gets the follow-up.
A whistle and a foul going to go against the Warriors. That's against Draymond Green.
The energy level has just completely changed. A nice stop there, but see, Iguodala goes for the left-hand jump hook. No box out. And the Warriors looking a lot more like the Warriors. Dallas, no points in the last 5 minutes.
Iguodala did a great job while he was in the ball game, now getting a breather. Steve Kerr, the head coach, said he spoke to him 2 weeks into training camp and told him about his role coming off the bench as Parsons misses. And Iguodala really set the tone, he said, in accepting his role, and everybody took their cue from there, Drew. Spates with the fake. Kept it alive, paddling underneath out of bounds, and it's Dallas basketball.
Well, that's what it takes. And I'm going to go back to something Kevin McHale told me earlier this season that was something that I can't stop thinking about is chase greatness, and all the other things will chase you. All-star games, all pros. Nice lob there from Berea. All the money will chase you. And that's when I look at this Warrior team. 2 all-star players, Iguodala, David Lee, come off the bench, and they're okay with it. They're chasing greatness.
This Warriors team lost last year in 7 games to the Clippers, minus Andrew Bogut, who was out with a fractured rib. Thompson on the drive inside to Spates, who gets it to go. Boy, Maurice Spates really involved again offensively tonight. He had 17 last night, and Sacramento has 8 right now.
He didn't get to play 2 games ago. I guess he's still steaming. Good D.
Villanueva bricks one, rebounded by Curry. Chance to get it down to 5 or 4 with a 3. Curry with a tough shot, and that's what he does.
It's like a horse game to this guy.
Timeout, Dallas.
He was going to pull the 3. Beret up in his face. Loses handle of the ball. All right, well, I'll just shoot it from over here, right off the shoestrings. Shot maker Steph Curry. The Warriors right back in it.
Are we weirdos? Can we be?
BC tournament last year. They're having a little bit of an off season this year, but Billy Donovan always has a few tricks up his sleeve, much like Steph Curry did a few moments ago on that nice hesitation, fake like I'm falling down dribble, and make the fadeaway jump shot.
Mark, you know, when I think about the Warriors, I think of something that John Calipari said about his Kentucky team. He said, I don't have substitutes, I have reinforcements. And I think that's exactly what this Warrior team has. I mean, this has been primarily done by the bench. Yeah, Curry's made a couple jump shots, but it hasn't been Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Bogut. These bench players have done a great job. They got 15 and 19 points here in the quarter.
Bray on the drive, kicks it out to nobody in particular. Ellis saves it. Parsons out to Barea for 3. Not the way they drew it up, but they'll take it.
They needed it. That's, what, 10 points now in the quarter. A broken play winds up in an open 3 for Barea.
And that temporarily stops the hemorrhaging by Dallas. Here's Thompson.
How about Barea? I mean, this guy, he gets put in the starting lineup in the NBA Finals and changes that whole series.
Draymond Green off the mark, rebounded by Bogut. There's Curry, cross court to Sean Livingston. He left it short and rebounded by Tyson Chandler.
He saw Tyson Chandler. He said, I'm not going to go in there and challenge this.
He's already got 10 rebounds. Barea and Tyson Chandler draws the foul on Bogut and will go to the free throw line for a pair.
This is big for Dallas to stem the tide after such a hot start. The 42 points, 65% shooting. It hasn't been that way here in the second. But they still have an 8-point lead. You love to get in to that locker room with a double-digit lead. A big 3 minutes and 40 seconds here for this Dallas Maverick club.
Chandler at the foul line had 11 points and 12 rebounds against the Warriors in the earlier meeting between these two teams in Dallas. The Mavericks actually went 9-7 in the month of January, but in that 9-7, which on the surface doesn't seem all that impressive, they were actually 8-4 in 12 road games. So coming into a place like this and being competitive is nothing new for Dirk Nowitzki and his crew.
Always been a good road team. I mean, 18-9 on the road is this team right now, and the second half of their schedule will be a lot of Western teams, and a lot of those are on the road. I mean, they know that. And what a great statement it would be here to get one tonight.
Harrison Barnes from downtown.
How about Barnes at 43% from behind the arc. Last year, really struggled shooting the basketball, was asked to be the leader of the bench, and Steve Kerr just felt like he needed to play with the starting unit to be more effective, and that's certainly been the case.
Barea got hung up in the air and turned it over to Thompson. Thompson on the drive and the finish. JB, it almost appeared as if they're so afraid of him launching that 3.
Right, you guard the three-point line, you gave up an easy dunk. And here's the crowd after down 22.
Parsons quiets the crowd.
That's a tough finish with the left hand.
Parsons had 18 points and 6 rebounds in that win against Minnesota. He's got 11 here tonight. Well, Klay Thompson's got his driver's license too.
Well, I don't want to give up the 3. I'll give up an uncontested 2. And on the other end, it's Parsons to the left off the glass. We got a good one here in Oakland.
Yeah, you know, Doris, speaking with Mark Gasol a little bit earlier this year, says part of his success is his great conditioning. Dropped about 15 pounds during the offseason, and he was able to do that by growing a lot of his own vegetables in his backyard in Memphis. He's into the holistic approach, JB.
He shoots more. That's why he's better.
Okay.
No, I mean, no, he's more aggressive.
He's in great shape.
No, he's
too.
more, yeah, well, he's more aggressive. And he's always been a guy that's unselfish. He's taken that step. And starting the All-Star game against his brother, what a thrill that would be. But I like this Memphis team. I'm going to tell you right now, I like Jeff Green coming over. Now he's a third, fourth option, whatever you want to call him, with Conley and Zach Randolph. That is a dangerous team. And we'll see how Vince Carter, if he's okay. He had an injury to his calf, I believe, last week.
That Memphis team went into Dallas recently and smoked them. Had their way with the Mavericks, so to speak.
They've had their way with a lot of people lately. They don't lose very often.
Correa kicks it back out to Chandler Parsons, who's had a very good first half. Off the mark that time, and a chance to cut it to 2. Curry, or 1 maybe. A rare miss from downtown for him. Let's listen in to Steve Kerr, Wired for Sound.
Hang in there, keep fighting. We've already climbed back in it. Let's make another push right now. 2.5 minutes here. We get a good close, we can start over again. We start this whole game over again.
Good strategy by the coach of the month in the Western Conference of the month of January.
Well, I think he realizes that his team didn't really show up and compete in the first quarter. 42 points. And then you could see the activity level on the defensive end. That's why they got back in it. They had a 5-minute stretch where Dallas didn't score. And when that happens, these guys are so good offensively, you know they're going to get back in the game.
There's Nowitzki, isolated against Draymond Green. Active hands by Klay Thompson, knocked it away. 8 on the shot clock for Monte Ellis. He just makes those shots,
so
folks.
Tough. I mean, Draymond Green is right in his face. He's going off of one leg, shooting it on the way down. That is a big-time, difficult shot.
Pretty efficient, 5 of 8 from the field for Ellis. 10 points in the ball game. Curry off the curl. Green on the pop. Back comes J.J. Barea. Lobs it up for Tyson Chandler. Wow! That's how you finish.
I don't know if Bogut knew he was back there.
He does now.
Great pass from Barea.
Klay Thompson gets it back with a 3.
Prettiest jump shot in the league.
Okay, who's the best shooter? Who's the best shooter in the NBA?
I'm not going there. You got Steph and him. You've got Kyle Korver and J.J. Redick. That's my top 4. I'm going to leave it at that. And we'll find out at All-Star Weekend whoever wins that 3-point shootout.
I'll hear what Jalen and Avery have to say about that.
That guy's not bad either.
Yeah, you might want to put that guy in the conversation. Dirk Nowitzki shooting 37% from downtown this year. Thompson on the drive and kick. Bogut got a nice screen from Draymond Green for the easy deuce.
And it wasn't a nice layup. It went in, but boy, it kind of crawled over that rim. Bogut, not a guy that gets the basketball a whole lot, doesn't finish around the rim all that well.
He's so important to this team, especially defensively. You got to keep him healthy.
And passing the basketball on the other end. 3 assists a game.
6-point lead for the Mavs. Ellis on the blow-by. Missed the finger roll. And there's about a 7-second difference between the shot and game clock.
Curry was out at half court. He wanted to go 2 for 1. He saw it about 32. He was going to come down and fire a long one.
Curry working against Barea. The floater. And the soft touch is good.
So sad.
Steph Curry now with 15 in the first half. We're at halftime coming up in a few seconds here. Ellis going to take it. And that's the end of the first half as the Golden State Warriors dig themselves a huge hole, but battle back to within 4 at the break. Steph Curry with 15 to lead the way for the Warriors. And Chandler Parsons back in full effect, coming off the flu several days ago. Looking real healthy here in the first 24 minutes of play. 62-58 at the break. Parsons on the drive and a deft touch and a little hesitation move, always lethal for Steph Curry. The Toyota Halftime Report is coming up, folks. Stick around.
The NBA on ESPN.
Talk.
Call 888-SWEET-90.
Was distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Today you marked your one-year anniversary as NBA commissioner. What will you remember most about your first year?
How quickly it went by. It was a really eventful year. I mean, I think what I'll remember most is the support I had from the community of fans, owners, partners of the league, and how much I learned over, which I didn't even know how much I learned until I was put in that position from the 21 years I'd spent with the league before I'd become commissioner.
It was certainly a memorable 12 months. And when we were chatting earlier, you said your mantra has become team above all else. That said, what is your goal for your second year?